It is summer, which means people are going to be outside. We're going to be listening to our music in diverse situations. And one of the things I'm going to talk about, the first thing, has nothing to do with hi-fi, but everything to do with hi-fi. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about the best hi-fi accessories for summer of 2024. When you are listening to your music during the summer months, you may be doing it all wrong. You may be worried about things that you shouldn't be worried about, like detail, like resolution, because you're probably not going to hear it anyway. For me, one of the best things that I ever got, was free. It was a decibel meter. It is a decibel meter and a real-time analyzer to see what's going on at different frequencies. And you don't need anything special. It's just your phone. I use an app called Decibel X. It's this one right here. And as you can see, as I talk, it'll tell you what frequencies are going on and the intensity of those frequencies. And it gives you a decibel meter with your SPL. So you can see how loud am I listening, what frequencies are going on. If there is something that is causing fatigue, you can understand what frequency it actually is. There's a free version and there's a paid version. I've never even used the paid version. However, I probably should. What I want you to do is download that application and then go sit in your listening position and turn it on. And then be quiet, which is difficult for me to do. And be quiet. And then see exactly what is the background noise going on in your room. And how loud do you normally listen to your music at the SPL? Could be 60, could be 70, could be 80. I hope it's not 90 because that's too loud. The reason that I say that is during the summer months, if you have central air conditioning, chances are that central air is adding to the background noise levels in your listening room. And the first product I'm going to talk about, and all of these products that I talk about are going to be linked in the description, which means those are affiliate links. If you use those affiliate links, if you click and you buy, it means I get a commission. It doesn't cost you anymore though, so it's a great way to support the channel. But one of my favorite products that I've ever talked about has nothing to do with hi-fi, but everything to do with hi-fi, is the Pelonis Quiet Fan. Every video that I make has this going on in the background, and I can have the Pelonis fan going on in the background because it's a quiet fan. And some fans that are labeled as being quiet aren't really that quiet. I have this one set on 3. Usually I'm running it at the second level. I turn it all the way up to 12. It's going at 54 dB. I'm going to turn it to 1. Is it moving a ton of air right now? No, it's not. But at level 2, it moves enough air to keep me cool while I'm making videos. The whole point I'm trying to make about this product is if you are into hi-fi, if you want to hear the most detail in your music, sometimes that has nothing to do with your actual system and everything to do with your environment. So you can get one of these Pelonis Quiet Fans, stick it right next to you, put it at a number 1, a number 2, even a number 3. Keep yourself comfortable while you're listening to your music. It's kind of like the argument of listening to high-res music while you're driving at highway speeds, and you have a background noise level of about 65 to 70 dB. All the resolution on the planet, the highest definition tracks aren't going to matter simply because you have too much noise going on in the background. And a fan is actually a great way to describe signal to noise ratio. You want to keep the noise at a minimum. So if your AC is super loud, turn it off. Turn on the fan. Get a quiet fan, and you will hear more of your music. At this point, I own 3 of these. There's one in my bedroom, one here in my office/studio, and then one upstairs in my upstairs living room or the kids' playroom or the home theater. I love them. I broke one. I'm going to be replacing it. I'll be ordering another one today. I know I'm going on and on about the Pelonis fan, but it is one of the best products I've ever paid money for. It's got a remote control, it rotates, it does all the things that fans do, but it does it quieter than any other fan that I've ever purchased. I normally don't do this type of video about this type of product, but there was a company at Axpona who I was somewhat familiar with from the car audio industry, and that was Morel. You may know of them. Out of all of the products at Axpona, I was the most impressed with their speakers because they had a pair of bookshelf speakers and they had a pair of floor standing speakers. Those speakers were reasonably priced. I think the bookshelves came in around $1,000, maybe a little over $1,000, and I think the tower speakers came in around $2,000. Not crazy affordable, but from what I heard at the show, they were wonderful. They had another product in their room. They asked me if I wanted to review it. I was a little bit hesitant because I don't like to review these types of products because most people aren't interested in them. I will say, though, that this is the Morel Biggie. It's a Bluetooth speaker. It is the best Bluetooth speaker I've ever heard. Now, you can get two of them, play them in stereo, and you can do that without an app. So you just press this button right here for about 2 seconds if you have two of them turned on, and they will automatically be paired up in stereo. One will tell you it's the right speaker and one will tell you it's the left speaker. They come with basically a 1-inch soft dome tweeter, 4-inch woofer with a fairly beefy surround on here. And if there's one thing I've learned about speakers that I never thought possible is that if you have a decent 4-inch woofer, you can put out a lot of bass. For example, the Mica RB42s, yes, RB42s, put out a monumental amount of bass. These kind of remind me of Mica RB42s that are Bluetooth with amplifiers on the inside. Okay, we talk about Bluetooth and everybody freaks out, and myself included, because generally speaking, they're not very good. Almost invariably, they don't make a lot of bass. These have 2 amps inside, 15 watt for the tweeter, 45 watt for the woofer. These sound better than they should, and they put out way more bass than they should. They claim in their literature that they can go up to like 95 dB. Maybe. But I was listening to them in the near field well above 85 dB. Not just peaks, I mean sustained at 85 dB. As far as sound signature goes, it's a little bit rich in the mid-range. There is a little bit of detail lost in the upper mid-range and a little bit of oomph in the lower mid-range upper bass, which makes sense. They claim a frequency response of down to 40 hertz. These are fun, okay? This is not an audiophile speaker. This is not going to replace your 2-channel system. But what this does do is gives you an awful lot of freedom with placement. I was messing around with these on my desk and I was getting the image to be behind my desk. I would gladly take these over any edifier or similar powered speaker. If you're going to spend time on your back porch, pool, you're going camping or anything else, these would be a great option to have. These are not inexpensive for Bluetooth speakers. It's not really a Bluetooth speaker per se. They're $300 a piece. So if you get a pair of them, they're $600. You can put together a pretty decent hi-fi system for $600. That's like apples and oranges from a comparison standpoint, though. This is what I would call a luxury Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, I said it. Luxury Bluetooth speaker. This is not the actual grill that goes with this one. So the red one has a red grill. The black one has a black grill. You can also take this strap off if you want to. You can put the strap on if you want to. There's a joke in there. I'm not going to touch it though. This also has a 3.5 millimeter connection right here, which means you could take something like a Weem mini streamer. Hear me out here. Let's say you're on the back porch. get yourself a 5-volt battery pack, 5-volt battery charger. Hook that up to your Wii Mini, run a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter into your Morel Biggie Bluetooth speaker. Now you have lossless streaming. Will that make a huge sonic difference? Probably not. But now you have a 10-band EQ. If you have a 10-band EQ, it means you can tailor that sound to your taste. These already sound great to begin with. But with a 10-band EQ, I could lean out that lower mid-range a little bit. Lean out probably that 125 hertz bump. If you have an Android phone, chances are you should have an EQ baked into the phone itself, like a global EQ. So you can mess around with that too. I am very excited about getting their bookshelf speakers in. I'm very excited about getting their floor standing speakers in. But I would be remiss if I didn't say these Bluetooth speakers are amazing. And it doesn't have a silly light show going on. I have done sponsored spots for Soundcore, and these sound a lot better. As far as Bluetooth speakers go, this is about as hi-fi you can get with Bluetooth speakers. If $600 isn't in your budget, I totally understand. I've actually been using these connected Bluetooth to my computer, and they have been outstanding. Really shocked that I like a Bluetooth speaker this much. Record Dr. X. This really doesn't have anything to do with summer, but it is $100 off. I've been a big fan of Record Doctor, and I know there's all sorts of crazy ultrasonic cleaners out there, but Record Doctor has been around for a long time, so that's who I trust my record cleaning with. Record Doctor. Now the Record Doctor X, $100 off. Actually, all kidding aside, I have a bunch of records that were popping and clicking. I'm going to clean off a bunch of them. Or at least kind of just keep it out and clean them before I play them. One day they'll all be clean. And since we're on the subject of vinyl, check out the Mi Shell record clamp. So what this does is you put it on your record and it clamps down to the spindle and holds your record flat. A lot of my records are wavy because I buy cheap records. I buy records from Walmart or Target. I thought this thing may be a bit of a gimmick, but it actually works. The Mi Shell Engineering record clamp comes in about $90. There may be other cheaper options out there, and if you can't afford $90 for a record clamp, I totally get it. There are other options out there, but I don't know if they're gonna be as good as this. All metal construction, super solid. Take a look at the Mi Shell record clamp. What about you though? What have I missed on today's video? What summer hi-fi accessories can you not live without? If you are new here, please give this video a thumbs up. If you got any value out of it, consider subscribing. And if you want to be a part of the best hi-fi community out there, check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/cheapaudioman. We have a Discord server. We have a Facebook group. We have Zooms every other Sunday, basically, where we get together and chit-chat. You'll also get your name in my credits. We also do gear exchanges on Discord, gear giveaways sometimes on Discord. It's a great community if you're just getting into the hobby. A lot of times patrons will just send gear over to somebody else and let them try it out for a while. Don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen through your new Cheap Audio Man Rocktopus coffee mug and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.